Holy bum nuggets. The comment section of the support class video exploded it. And as I've said, we're gonna have a discussion. So the first comment is from Jacob Rova. I want a support class, smiley face. Well, I'm not the only one. Woohoo! Next comes from Christian Olsen. I don't think Blizz would care if there's a way to measure it since it's an add-on doing that. Now he goes on, but I'm gonna stop right there. Blizzard would not give a damn. Okay, all they care about is it hard to balance? Is it hard to balance? Fuck that, we're not doing that. Is it easy to balance? Maybe. They don't care about, measuring and blah 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 and numbers. They don't. They want balance. Is it easy to balance or is it hard to balance? Okay. Players would though. Okay. Nowadays players just need something that tells them yay or nay. Am I good or bad? Am I doing enough numbers or not enough numbers? Which is disgusting. But that's how people are now. And then he goes on and says, and if it was as you said, I could imagine there would be specs like Mana Bender, Shielder, and I don't know the last, but you get the point. And then I guess you would measure it in absorbs and mana restoration. Same as healing. I don't care about measurement. I just don't. Okay? I would just play the class and have fun. But Mana Bender sounds fucking awesome. Shielder, not so much. Mana Bender, yeah. Really cool. How I imagine this class actually in action, it would be that this class is adequate at restoring mana, shielding, buffing, and all this other bollocks. But the specs like Mana Bender, Shielder, or Buffer, or whatever, would basically specialize it. And it would make it better. Gave it more abilities in that, certain blah 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 do. So yeah. And the next comment kinda ties in with this one, and it's from Mr. Awesome Ref 7X, and it's, I hate the way people are obsessed with numbers. It's so disgusting. Yes, it is. World of Warcraft became just a game of numbers for so many people. And what I think is really bad about this is just look at PvP, okay? Back in my day, people would do PvP and they would not give a shit if they had honor. Okay, before Battlegrounds, people found Terran Mill PvP and they basically made their own battleground. What Terran Mill PvP was a battleground. It was a battleground. Do you know why people fought there? Why people did PvP there? Because it had graveyards for both factions fairly close. So people would just bash their faces in all the time. Because you died and you basically showed up as a ghost at a graveyard that was kind of close. It was not like Barons that had one graveyard in kind of under crossroads. So if you died somewhere far away, yeah, good luck. There was a annoying fucking corpse around there. So yeah, that's why people fought there, and they just fought because it was fun. They fought because they liked fighting. Nowadays, no. People don't. People do battlegrounds for honor. There's too many people doing battlegrounds just for honor. Okay, they don't care about PvP. Just look at the amount of fucking bots in Battleground. I remember one time I joined Strand of the Ancients. I don't know if it was Cataclysm. I think it was in Cataclysm. But we had like 3 people. And the Alliance had like 2. Other people, bots. Like 10 or 12 fucking bots in a Battleground. And here's my question. Why the fuck do you need honor if you're not doing the PvP? Okay? So you're not gonna play PvP to get honor, to not do the fucking PvP. Why? Why? Why are you doing Battlegrounds just to get honor, to get gear for PvP that you're not fucking doing? Are you fucking retarded? Why would you do Battlegrounds to get honor, to get gear that you will never fucking use because you don't like PvP? People are just so fucking retarded. I don't understand this. Okay? If you want to do battlegrounds and get gear for battlegrounds, you need to do the fucking battlegrounds. People are just so fucking retarded. It's the same with people in LFR. I hate LFR. Why are you doing LFR? To get gear. Why? To do more LFR. But you hate LFR! You oh, fucking idiots! I hate people like that. If I'm doing something, I need to have fun. It has to have a purpose, or I need to have fun. Otherwise, I'm not doing that. And if I'm doing battlegrounds, and I hate myself just to get gear so I can hate myself even further while doing battlegrounds, I would fucking shoot myself. People are fucking retarded nowadays. Back in the day, I will say this. If Blizzard made LFR in vanilla, and it gave you no gear, people would still do that. People would still do that. They would go in, they'd be like, oh shit, I never seen this dungeon. Oh my, it's so cool. We killed a boss. Oh no, it doesn't matter. I saw the dungeon. It was fucking awesome. Nowadays, where's the fucking... bruh? I killed 3 bosses and I only got 12 items. What the fuck, Blizzard? Fix your game. Just die. Okay, sometimes I really said that I can't set people on fire over the internet. Sometimes I am really sad I can't do that. But I will stop talking about this comment because I will get really angry. So, let's jump to another comment. And the next one comes in from Mr. Animations the Mage, and he says, it's actually 2 comments, but I want to focus on the first one. Not sure if you've played Rift, but support classes in that game are amazing. Archon and Chloromancer, mages, bard rogues, clerics and warriors. And he goes on to explain this, and I have to say yes, I have played Rift. It's been a long time since I've played Rift, good lord. It's like 2 years, maybe 3. But I started out as a necromancer, and later on I found out that you can combine like these talent trees. You get 3 talent trees and you can choose what they are. So it can be like a pyromancer or a chloromancer or archon and stuff like that. And you divide your points, your talent points, in between these 3 trees, and you get abilities from it and stuff like that. And I started out as a necromancer, but I ended up being sort of a buff off heal kind of mage, and they work they're kind of similar to discipline priests. You have a spell that does damage, but it's not doing as much damage as a normal fireball, but it gives you a buff, or it heals someone and stuff like that. So this might be the way to go. You could have stances kind of like monks have, so you can either do full on damage, or you can do like half damage, half DPS, half healing, or this way, just have spells that do a lot of damage, so you can level up and you can actually do some DPS with this class, but then have a different spell that kind of does like lower damage, but it also gives a buff, or restores mana, or shields, or bloody cunting da. So this might be the way to go. This is actually very clever. I never thought of that. The second part of his comment is, you're right though, I go into a raid as a boomkin and my gear is not all that great. I pull, say, 140k DPS while everyone else is pulling around 200k, but I use my Stampeding Roar at the right times. I off-heal with Rejuvenation, Tranquility, even Healing Touch when necessary, innovate my focus targets, CC mobs with Roots, Fairy Swarm, and so on. What other class can do all of this and still pull out 150k DPS? The answer is, no other class can do that. The problem is, who actually cares about Stampeding Roar and all this shit nowadays? The Druid does, and if you're in a guild group, everyone there probably does. Well, everyone. At least like 3 people are like, yay, Stampeding Roar, cool. If you're in a pug, no. The majority of the player base does not give a damn. And that's the problem. Okay, I've talked about this in the previous video. I would not give a shit if boomkins were underpowered. Okay, give me something more, give me more utility, and take some of my damage. I would not give a toss, but everyone else would. Why are you not doing enough damage? This warlock is doing more damage than you are. Well, I'm using Stampeding Roar, I'm healing fucking people. I can jump into bear form and take a stack from a boss. Well, I don't care, you need to do a lot of damage, dude. And that's, once again, obsession with numbers. You can't give classes too much utility because it would suffer in numbers. And we're actually very fortunate as a Boomkins that we have all of this utility. Okay? No other classes did. They took it away. Okay, Bloodlust from Shamans. Well, let's give it to Mages and Hunters and who's next? Maybe Paladins. You know, they get some holy bomb bullshit that gives you Bloodlust because, there might be a raid group that doesn't have a mage or a hunter or a shaman or a druid and blah 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 blah. At the end, everyone will have bloodlust. Just fuck it, give everyone bloodlust, and they're gonna be happy. They will shut up. Okay. So once again, obsession with numbers, and as a druid, just be really happy that you have all of this utility that you can use in so many different situations. Because all the other classes lost their utility pretty much. The next comment comes from Mr. Charles Higginbotham. That's one of a hell of a name, dude. And the footage in the background is there just to be there. Deal with it. And he says, I like how you made a comment about druid utility. I miss the real hybrid classes like druid and shaman with actual talent trees, taking away hybrid so that hybrid classes can be as good as pure heal DPS classes was a big mistake. They basically were support classes and they got removed. Boo-hoo, my balanced druid can't out DPS my mage. Buff me, please. Love the videos. Hope you keep the discussion going. Well, first of all, I want to say balanced druid in vanilla, no. They weren't any. Have you ever saw a balanced druid raiding, like for real? Not a joke balanced druid. They were really shit, okay? They were called Oomkins for a reason. Casted like 15 spells and you were out of mana. And it wasn't like with Hunters. Hunters ran out of mana, that they did feign death, and they drank water. So they have full mana and they can cast again. Druids were basically, they were only restoration druids. Feral druids were a joke. There was no gear for them. There was no gear for feral druids. They were using rogue gear. And there wasn't much, there was one tier set, and that was for restoration druids. So nowadays, at least we can play all the specs, but I believe they did it in the wrong way. They also homogenized the classes way too much. What that means is they basically need to make the classes similar because they want guilds or people to bring the player, not the class. Which is dumb as hell. Okay, it kind of promotes skill. It doesn't really matter what he's playing because he's good at everything. But it also means that me as a balanced raid, I can't have my own buff. Because Blizzard is scared there is a raid group with only paladins. And they will go, oh my god, they don't have all the buffs. It's not balanced. I'm gonna shit myself and then I'm gonna stick my head in it because it's not balanced. I'm scared. Mom, help. So, homogenization is something I've already talked about in this video with the Bloodlust. If you were to ask a mage in, let's say, TBC and said, what spell would you like to have? I can guarantee you they would not say, Bloodlust. I would love to have a Bloodlust. It would just not happen. Okay? And because of this, because of the homogenization, you can't really have classes that can do something that other classes can't. Let's just say Hunters misdirection. Now Rogues have misdirection. Why? Why? Why do Rogues need misdirection? If you need misdirection, just bring a Hunter. And then Blizzard says, well, a raid group might run with, let's say, 5 DPS rows and they might not have misdirection. Well, they're not gonna have a fucking tranquility either. Just stop doing this, Blizzard. You're making all the classes into one thing that's really boring. And the classes are starting to be really boring because they're really basically the same. They just do DPS in a slightly different way, but they're not different enough. That's my opinion, of course. But I believe that the classes are not different enough. Okay, they're way too samey. They feel really samey. And once again, this is why I play Balance Rate. And if I were to play another class, I think I wouldn't be playing this game anymore, because I can do so many things. You know, some classes still have little things that they can do, like Warlock Portals. That was a great addition. I absolutely love that. Even though we don't have a Warlock in our raid group, I would love to have a Warlock, because portals are amazing, but we just don't have it. We're fucking tough. We just don't have a Warlock. We don't have a portal. It's not that big of a deal, Blizzard. Okay? If we want to have a portal, we will just get a fucking Warlock. Stop homogenizing classes. It's dumb. So yeah. Next, once again, Animations the Mage. I didn't play much of Druid pre-BC and during BC and Wrath of the Lich King. I didn't know much about hybrid classes for PvE. I just did PvP on my mage. Lol. Only hybrid I knew was a Frostfire mage, but yes, now balance rates at least have more PvE utility than most other classes do. Yeah. Druids have the most, as I've said, utility. And it's amazing. I absolutely love to have that utility. Even though sometimes I might sacrifice damage because I'm doing something else, like healing, for instance. I don't care. If my damage drops because the raid survives, I am happy with that. If my damage is shit, but because of me, the raid group is alive, I am happy with that. Most people aren't, though. Oh, why is your damage so shit? Look at the fucking healing meter. Just look at the fucking healing meter. I have so much healing, and you still fucking whine that my damage isn't high enough. Okay. I remember, this was the case on, what was it? Council in Throne of Thunder, Heroic. I always finished that fight with so much healing because of Khazrajin's overpowered discharge, you know, where he's damaging everyone based on the damage you deal to him. I was basically healing throughout that entire phase as a Boomkin, all the time. And I was not complaining about it at all. That was the one fight where I was like, yes! Look at me! I'm a druid! Suck my hooty balls! Suck my hooting balls! Okay, I'm doing this much damage. It's not very good, but look at the healing meter. Yes? The raid group is alive because of my feathery goodness. And that was awesome. That felt really cool. And I would like more moments like that. So, more utility to classes. Give utility. Give something to everyone. Okay, give something like Warlock Portal to anyone. And they will feel really good. People feel really great. They would say, hey, I'm a rogue. I have this thingamajig. That would be really good in this situation. So please, we want less homogenization. Words. Homogenization. More uniqueness. Utility. Okay? We want to be, at least partially, the unique snowflake in the raid group. Okay, Blizzard, stop doing bollocks. Give us something cool. Next comment comes in from Mr. SC Tosi, and he says, I would love to play support class as long as it is a class that can be played solo as well. I don't need big numbers per se, knowing that for my class they don't really matter, but it would suck if I couldn't level because of it. Don't have a friend base big enough for constant partying. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's the one problem. If you want a support class, it needs to do enough damage to get through the leveling process. And I think if they go the Rift path of you have two different spells, two different main nukes, one does damage, one does less damage and healing or buffing, blah 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 blah, that would work. Next, Imbzors says, I doubt they will add a new class. They are already having too much trouble balancing the current classes. They had trouble balancing the current classes in Vanilla, then they had trouble balancing current classes in TBC, yet they still added Death Knights. They had problems balancing Wrath of the Lich King, they had problems balancing Cataclysm, yet they still added Monks, and they still have problems balancing classes. MMOs will never be balanced. Just get this into your head. MMOs will never be balanced. You can't have balance with different classes. Look at Warcraft 2. You had, well, 2 units that were different. You had Death Knights and Mages, and you had Paladins and Ogres. And people would still fucking complain, even though they were pretty much the same, but they had different spells. Ogres had Bloodlust, Paladins had Heal. And people were like, well, this one is better. No, this one is better. No, this one is better. So, just face it, MMOs will never be balanced. They can't. Every classes scale differently based on stats. So, it will never be balanced. And they added classes when the original classes weren't balanced. So, I don't think that's going to be a big of a deal. Next comment comes in from XLiquid, and he says, I would really love this class, but I see the problem. A friend of mine is a fucking DPS whore and he only wants to do DPS. I couldn't imagine him playing supporter. Well, it wouldn't be for everyone. It's like tanking or healing. Look what happened to tanking when Blizzard basically made it more appealing with Vengeance. Oh, you can now do mad deeps, and everyone wants to be a tank now. And they're awful. They're fucking awful. Just look at LFR tanks. I would love to set them on fire sometimes. They're awful. They're really bad. Okay, there's just so many bad tanks now. But let's just say, there are tanks that deliberately take more damage. And, they cause healers to go and panic just so that they can do more damage. They get more vengeance. It's fucking retarded. But yeah, it would not be for everyone. And the last comment, sorry, I apologize, is from Mr. Stefan Herzeg. And he says, gotta admit, WoW community is pretty shit and retarded when it comes to the simplest tasks, so there is no chance of support class going anywhere. Wow, you're one hell of a happy Henry, aren't you? Wow, what a cynical bastard. But, the WoW community is not that great. Used to be better, and this is because of cross-realm stuff like dungeon finders and LFRs. It doesn't matter. Servers do not matter anymore. And it basically allows people to be awful. You have a shield in front of you. There is no point of talking to anyone in dungeon. You can be a dick, because you will probably never group with these people ever again. And I don't like it. I just don't like it. I liked it way more when it was just your server, and if you were a dick, well, you were fucked. Because people knew you were a dick. And you were boned. They wouldn't take you, they wouldn't group with you, and you were boned. You couldn't do anything. And that's it. 23 lovely minutes of discussion and me being angry. But yeah, I would love to take this discussion even further than this. Okay, once again, leave anything you want in the comment section. And if there is enough comments, I'll make another video like this one. So if you enjoyed it, give me a like. It feeds my babies. And I thank you all for watching, listening, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.